Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that feels incredibly personal. The source material is called Talking About Jesus, but it's really about that pressure.
You know,
That pressure to prove your worth.
exactly. The resume building, the image, the constant hustle for approval.
hmm And this piece just sets up this collision, right, between how the world defines your value versus how spiritual identity is supposed to work.
Hmm.
It's trying to dismantle that whole transactional way we think about God.
That's what really struck me. It uses this very specific, very intense metaphor of the bride and the bridegroom. And I have to say, in a modern context, that language can feel a bit archaic.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely heavy imagery.
Hmm.
We have to think about the alternative. Usually it's God as a judge or maybe a distant boss.
You do the work, you get the reward.
Right. But the bridegroom metaphor, it just shatters that. It argues for a relationship built on, like, covenant and intimacy. It's not about checking off boxes. It's about a figure who is devoted, who is faithful. And that leads to this idea of unearned beauty, which I love. The text says the believer is clothed with the beauty of Christ. It just feels like a massive relief.
Because it's not a wage. You didn't grind for it. That's the pivotal shift.
So if the world didn't give it to you,
The world can't take it away. Your status is, well, it's one of being forgiven and restored. So when God looks at you, he isn't scanning for past slip-ups. He sees the righteousness of his son.
okay, but then here's the tension. If that status is permanent and unearned, why does the material spend so much time warning about worldly influences? If the check is cleared, why worry?
Because the danger isn't that you lose your status. The danger is that you stop caring about it.
Ah.
And look at what the distractions are. It's not just, the obvious sins. The text names pleasure, success, approval, comfort.
That's the tricky part, isn't it? Because comfort and success, I mean, those are things we're conditioned to want. They don't feel destructive.
Exactly. That's why they work like an anesthetic. They don't set off any alarm bells. They just slowly pull the heart away.
Stain the mind. That's the phrase it used.
Yes. Not by being evil in themselves, but by dulling your appetite for spiritual reality. You start caring more about fitting in than being faithful.
So what's the move then? Are we supposed to sell everything and move to a monastery? Because withdrawal seems like the logical next step.
But the text argues against that explicitly. It's not about isolation. It's about watchfulness. It's about navigating the world with a kind of filter.
A filter.
Yeah, you just have to constantly ask yourself, does this draw me closer to Christ, or does this help me grow in holiness? It's active engagement, not hiding away.
But realistically, nobody keeps that filter up perfectly 24/7. We're going to get distracted. We're going to stumble. Does the whole system just collapse then?
No, and that's what's so honest about this text. It says, point blank, all believers do stumble. But remember the metaphor, it's bride and bridegroom, not employee and boss.
So the response isn't firing.
It's restoration. And that reframes repentance, doesn't it? It stops being that walk of shame to the principal's office.
It becomes a gift.
Yes. The focus is on Jesus gently restoring the weak. It's about washing and strengthening, not punishing. And the practical advice is so simple. Keep your eyes on Jesus, spend time in the Word, pray.
It sounds like those aren't chores, but lifelines to keep you from getting numbed by the world.
That's it. Which brings it all back to that final point. Remember who you are and whose you are.
Yeah.
And realizing that your life isn't aimless. It's preparation. Preparation for that glorious union. Viewing your daily grind as getting ready for a wedding instead of a performance review, that changes everything.
It really does. It changes the stakes. So here's a thought to leave you with today. The text claims your identity is not found in trends, opinions, or achievements. If you genuinely believed that, truly operated today as if your bank account or your reputation had zero bearing on your actual worth, how would that fundamentally alter the decisions you make before the end of the day?
That's a question worth asking.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.